We're golden.
Yay. Good morning, everybody. If you dare show your face, I like to see faces. I still have bedhead, so it's okay. So I'll open us in prayer. And I wanted to share just before I pray really quickly. We were on a Jewel or a Senior Ruby Above call with Jessica Heffley yesterday. And I love how she opened her the call was she said, "Have you guys read Isaiah 61 lately?" And she's like, we do so much more than hustle vitamins. And this is the conversation I have with Kevin all the time, because I'm like, I'm not really passionate about like X Factor chewables. Like, I want purpose to my life. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, and so what Jessica said, like hit the nail on the head. She's like, we're not vitamin hustlers. She's like, we're part of allowing the Lord to use us to break people free.
Mm-hmm.
We're breaking people free from like fear and depression and sickness and anxiety and all the things, and financial freedom and time freedom. And I'm like, yes, like I can so get behind that and be so proud of that and love that so much. When I'm just saying like, what do you do? Like, I sell vitamins. Like that's not powerful enough for my heart to be like my purpose. Do you know what I mean? But the Lord is using you and me and our teams to help do that, to walk alongside people and help set them free from all of these things. You know what I mean? And so I think that that's a beautiful thing. So, okay, I will pray and then we'll begin. Lord, thank you for today. Thank you for the gift of this brand new month. Thank you for all the growth that took place last month, Lord, for all the goals that were met, all the new people who have joined us. And I just pray that you give us wisdom as we move forward, just to know how to take care of those people well, how to love them well, how to help them just fall in love with the products and being willing to stay the course, and just help them to see that it's so much more than them just taking vitamins, but help us just to love them and to lead them well, Lord. And so as we move forward in July, anyone who didn't meet their goals or anything like that, Lord, I just pray that you help us to have fresh vision, Lord. Give us fresh vision. Thank you for the gift of new mercies and new graces. Help us to always hold this loosely, Lord, and to give you the glory for it. And just bring people to us, Lord, people who need the products, people who need the business, people who we can love well, and help us to be 10 talent people where whatever you bring to us, Lord, we are just such good stewards of it, God. We're a good steward of our time and of our treasure and of our people, and help us to always just love and lead so well, and to always point people to you, God. In your name I pray, amen.
Awesome. Okay. Well, good morning. Good morning. Congratulations. Hopefully a lot of you were on the team call last night. If you weren't, we're getting it uploaded. So that was an excellent team call, very celebratory, and it was super fun. So today, I just wanted to share a couple of things that I guess I'm working on and that resonate with my brain space. If you haven't looked at that, how to map your month, it's like how to work your business, it's a monthly map, and there's 3 different posts. Let me mute really fast. If you're not muted, make sure you mute. There's someone cooking breakfast. So basically, like, I don't know, this just resonated with my brain space when Brooke Hemingway shared it, but she's like, instead of like crash landing into your month, or like crash landing into the end of the month, and like because you haven't worked the first 2 weeks of the month, then you're like hustling and scrambling and your business is stressful to you at the last 2 weeks or 2 days of the month, right? Why not map it out so with like that we're more systematic in how we're approaching it? And so so there's a post on the Momentum group, and if you scroll like in the photos, or just search in the search bar, monthly map, and it'll pop up. But the first 10 days of the month, what should we be working on, right? And so I'm just going to kind of breeze through these things, and we'll actually spend some time and work on them, because I don't know that I don't know about you guys, but I have in my brain what needs to happen, but it's good to actually do the things, right? So the first thing, which I will say, if you have your planner, hopefully you're starting to fill out and do your end of the month reflection page. Take a few minutes sometime today and just like jot those things down, because it's really good to reflect and not just like blast forward without taking a little bit of time to reflect. I know John Maxwell teaches on that. I think it's also kind of along the same lines of taking a rest. It's okay to take a respite, rest your brain, go on a walk, like unplug so that you can get creative ideas. Because sometimes that's when the little sparks start to fly in light of like ideas on business, family, like all the things, right? So The end of the month tracking sheet, fabulous. Utilize that so you know you can be organized, like who ranked up, who should I get a gift for that ranked up in my organization, who can I send congratulation little notes to. You can either do handwritten notes, which there is a lost art with handwritten notes. They're very sweet to get in the mail. And or like a little message on Facebook, just, oh my word, you had such a great month. Tell me about your wins. And don't forget to recognize people. If you haven't gotten recognition from me, make sure you send me your wins so I can shout you out if you're my level 1. And shout people out, like on the team page or to their colleagues in your chat threads. If it's something that can go on their wall, right? Shout them out for, earning the double stimulus, or, the rank up that they hit, which is super cool. So end of the month tracker sheet, hopefully you're utilizing that. And then one of the very first things on the list is to make a new contact list. So what I want you guys to do really quickly is open up your virtual office. Hopefully you're in front of a computer. Open up your virtual office and start filling this out. Okay, we'll take like 5 minutes. Yeah, let's take 5 minutes and you can jot down your new ambassadors. And it was a big month. A lot of you added at least 6. Okay, and I just want to put it out there. I keep repeating myself on this, but 6 is the new 3. And I'm just encouraging all of us, especially, this is a high momentum time. And so we need to press in. A lot of us are on summer break anyways. And so there is a little bit more space to be able to do a little extra work. And so make it your standard and your team standard. 6 is a new 3. Because this is the thing. If you want to build a team, you want to help people duplicate, you have to start with recruitment first. If you're only adding 1 person a month, it's going to be hard to get silvers because you have no one to develop. If that 1 person is not game for going, you know what I mean? Like if you try and you can't help them go silver, right? So having more people to pick from is key to developing silvers, right? So 6 is the new 3. Make it your mantra, hashtag that. But write down your new ambassadors. I also want you to write down who you want to help get to silver. Okay, and then, okay, so let's do that first. Okay, let's do that first, and then I'm gonna do something else with you guys. And I'm just gonna turn my thing around here. Can you guys all see that? That is my door with all these beautiful sticky notes, and I'm going to start revamping those. And I'm gonna put 6 new ones at the top that are blank. And actually, the ones that are there now are gonna shift down, and I'm going to put 3 lines underneath each of those people to see if I can help them duplicate. Actually, some of them went silver last month because we hosted events for them. And I will just say really quickly, this afternoon at the 2 p.m. coaching call, I'm going to be teaching about how to help people duplicate right away, help people go fast start silver within their first month, and specifically talking about how to do those little launch Zooms and how to host an effective Facebook event. If you're not utilizing those for your new people, you're probably not getting people to duplicate like you could if you were hosting those and offering those. So I'm going to be training on those. So take a couple minutes. Whoops, sorry, I didn't mean to mute myself. I'm going to minimize this. I'm going to actually pull up my virtual office, and I don't need to show you anything yet. You guys can go jot down your new ambassadors and possible silvers. Okay, let's take a couple minutes and we'll jot those names down. Now, and in light of your possible silvers, they don't have to just be your level 1s. Hopefully you're connecting with more than just your level 1s, because you can taproot like crazy and get a lot of momentum going if you allow yourself to talk to not just your level 1s. Okay, so all right, 5 minutes. 1, 2, ready, set, go. Okay, that was 5 minutes. So hopefully you're getting your brain on paper with your people. And one thing that I'm doing is in my new ambassador list, like there, Jess and I recruited 10 new people from last month. And then I was even jotting down like who we've helped develop so far. Um, Eric, we hosted several events, like personalized events for people. Eric earned the double stimulus. Jason, we helped get a +1. There's a few people actually from last month that um, had a +5, +5. We helped Debbie with get 3. Hector from Mexico went silver, and then his sister went silver. So like getting your people on paper, and then from that, I would write down, well, you should actually probably have all of them as your possible silvers, but make it your plan of action to connect with all of them and say, hey, this is what I loved about the wording yesterday. Actually, I saved it from the events. I'm going to actually give you this wording. I'm going to put it in the chat thread. So you can copy and paste it to the notes in your phone, and you can send this out today to your listy list of people. So it says, I'm so excited to have you here with us. Now I want to do something for you. I'm going to do an event for you. I have prizes and giveaways and some fun games. I'll share my story and a few of my friends' stories. That's all. All you do is invite your friends and family. Does tomorrow at 9 p.m. work for you? And so Megan was sharing last night or yesterday on Jessica's call that the wording on that, like the word, and like Molly shared last night on the team call, our wording can like make such a big difference, because you see, she's not asking permission. She's actually saying, hey, I'm doing this for you. I would love to do this for you. But she said the thing is that makes it such a great way to reach out and she's like, they all say yes. She said the reason why is because you're not asking them to share their story. You're sharing your story with their network of people. So she said that's the big clicker, is like, it's your story. Like, I just love to share my story with anyone, and I know that we can help more people. So anyways, copy and paste that into notes in your phone, because and this is the other thing, and I'll train on this afternoon, but she said you have to capitalize, which if it's been more than 36 hours, it's okay. She's like, you have to capitalize on this in their first like 48 hours of joining, because they'll be way more likely to say yes if you get them, hosting an event, or let you host an event for them within their first little couple days. Okay, so I'm just throwing that out there. And when you're creating momentum, and I thought this was really good what Jessica said on her call yesterday, this idea of like the 4-hour work week. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes that gets thrown around, and I'm like, I don't know where that's come from. I mean, there's a book called that. I actually haven't read it. There's probably good things in it, but and I think the idea is make sure you're doing the most important thing in your business, not just like scrolling Facebook and wasting time. But there is the aspect of when you're seeking to create momentum, or you have really, really big goals, like Justin said last night, you're going to have to do some things you've never done before. And so there was a little bit of an aspect of, maybe I can't just work from 2 to 4 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Maybe during this season of my business, I'm going to have to actually be a little bit more flexible so that I can create the momentum that I want. And it's like you're setting the foundation, because like instituting this type of system is highly duplicatable. And obviously, if you recruited 25 level ones, you might do something a little different. But the fact that they're individualized little events and they're super effective, guys, they're only like 20 minutes long. So I don't have to take an entire evening. But I'm just saying, it is important to capitalize right away instead of waiting like 2 weeks in when your life slows down. So I'm just throwing it out there that when you're in like a high momentum season, or you're wanting to create momentum in your business, you're going to have to invest some more time, thought process, energy, and initiate with your people, and be willing to, like, life might look a little crazy. Again, you're creating momentum, you're setting up yourself for duplicating it's a people driven system. So the idea of just being able to plug your person into a team page and hope they go silver, like, that's not the case. I mean, that may have worked back in 2015 for whatever reason, but even with making a post, Brooke has also mentioned this. So if you've been around Plexus for like several years, you know that you used to be able to help those 8 people make a post on Facebook and you had 8 silvers. Now it's a little different. I help them do all the things. So anyways, I'm going to talk more about that on the call this afternoon. I'm not going into that now. All right, the next thing we're going to do is write down, who am I connecting with? You need to make a new list of potentials. So in your book, we're going to actually make a new list. So what I want you to do is go to the last story that you made on Facebook, and we're going to take like 3 minutes, and I want you to jot down a listy list from that list. And so when you look at your story, you're just going to click on it and you're going to scroll up, and there's all the people that viewed your story. So these are the people that are following what you're sharing. If you're not consistently posting on Facebook or you're not consistently making stories, start doing that, because you're going to get a following where people are like, oh, what are they up to today? And that doesn't have to be a Plexus one. I take my list off non-Plexus posts because they're obviously following what you're sharing. So take a couple minutes and you're going to write down anyone's name on your list that you have either never talked to about Plexus before, or they're just not in Plexus. So even if you have chatted with them before, write them down, because you probably forgot to follow up with them, or see if they wanted to try a sample, or see if they want to come to our little event next week. Okay, so let's take 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and do that really quick. On your marks, get set, go. Okay, so utilizing your notebook and get organized so that you're systematic in working your business. So the first couple days of the month, this is what I'm doing in my business. This is what a lot of people on this team are doing so that they can be more effective the entire rest of the month. So it's okay to like not necessarily do like normal IPA and just get your list written down, figure out like map it out, get your plan on paper. Okay. Um, I'll also say when you're intentional about your time, like on this little vision for the month paper, there's spots on there for like your family, for your health goals, your spiritual stuff that you want to be mindful of. And that's something else that Jessica had mentioned on the call yesterday, which I appreciated. Is like, you don't have, your life should not be like engulfed with your business. And I mean, it's like balance in all things, right? And it is somewhat the struggle of the juggle. But if I am intentional about like, I want to make sure that we are practicing Psalm 91, or I want to make sure that I'm exercising at least 3 to 5 times a week, or that I'm getting up and reading either first thing in the morning or before I go to bed. Like setting those intentions so that you're not just like on a hamster wheel, like it will help you be healthier, right? Because you have set those intentions and you'll be more likely to actually do them when you write them down. Okay. Make sure that you have mapped out, and that we talk about this a lot, but in your planner, map out when your plexus hours are. Okay, it's such a simple thing to do, but if you do that, you will allow yourself the freedom to be plugged in and then tune out, and that's okay. All right, and honor that time commitment to yourself. You will actually, and this is something that Sally Lewis shared. So she went Sapphire last month, Diamond this month, and she's been Emerald for 3 years. But Jessica said, she's like, this is something I've noticed about Sally, is like in the past 6 months, 6 to 9 months, she's been really consistent in getting up, going to work out, and then she goes to a coffee shop and works her business. And she's like, her setting that discipline has like paid off dividends in her business. And she's like, it didn't make a difference right at the beginning, but sometimes the missing link in people's success is actually the fact that they're really, really unorganized and they have no schedule and like no systematic way that they're actually working their business. And so I think also the cool thing was that's what she was doing. Like that's what she's been doing for the past 9 months, but she didn't actually see fruit in her business till this summer. So anyways, just throwing that out there. I thought that was a cool thing. All right. If you have not set your goals this month, I want you to take a couple minutes and write them down. Does anyone not know what their goal should be? Justin did a live video yesterday on the team page. If you haven't watched that, we'll watch that sometime today. But write it down. And he had set his goal. He actually crumpled up and threw away. But he wrote down his goal of what he was doing last month and what he was going to give up to get it. And it was a very simple thing. But I want you to jot down, take 2 minutes really quick. I want you to jot down on your sheet of paper or whatever you're going to put, maybe on your sticky notes, right? So you can get it right in front of you. So what to be writing down for your goals? Well, let me look back to the month of June. And okay, so our very simplistic, I mean, you can make your goals, I guess, as detailed as you want. But for example, if you're not silver yet, that should be your goal for this month, right? If you went gold last month, have you mapped out what it's going to take to get to senior gold? That's one thing to figure out, is like, what is it going to take? Maybe for you, if you have 2 vacations planned and multiple birthday parties this month, maybe this is not the month to go like back-to-back rank ups. Maybe you'll have more of like a 60-day or a 90-day plan for ranking from gold to senior gold, or ruby or senior ruby to emerald, or whatever. But get that plan on paper. If you're not sure how to map out that plan, go watch some YouTube videos, talk to your sponsor, and just make some small goals that you want to hit. Okay, so for example, my goals last month, Justin mapped diamond. Me, my goal was to hit 10,000 points, and Justin 4,500 points. So like, if you don't have a point goal, you need to have a point goal, even if it's not actually a rank up goal. Okay, so if you're in between gold and senior gold, maybe your point goal is going to be 200. that means you need 20 new ads on your team this month, and you'll be well on your way to senior gold for next month, right? And then my plan was to develop 4 silvers and help add 3 to 6 new people, which we ended up adding 10 in total between Justin and I. And then we developed, how many people did we develop to silver? There's multiple ones. A couple of them weren't fast start. Well, actually they were, because they joined last month. Hector, Debbie, Brittany, Willisons, Eric, and then Jason was a +1. This is the other thing too, is sometimes you're not going to get every single person that you set out. Well, actually most times, probably not going to get every single person that you feel like could go silver. You may not get them to silver, but guess what? If you help them get a +1, that's a win. You help them get their spouse signed. You help them get their mom-in-law. But it starts with you having conversation, you hosting an event for them, you help them make a post and things like that. So take 2 minutes and write down what your goals are for the month of July. You can map it out like team ads, personal points, how many people are going to sponsor, which remember, I'm pushing everyone to make 6 the new 3. Does anyone want to share their goals? What they've written down? Some of you have probably already done that. One thing I wrote down the other day when I was doing this is, whose rank up month is it? I need to figure out as a leader who in my organization has the capability or the possibility to rank up. And I'm going to help map that out. Amanda has hers already written out. Can you unmute and tell us what they are?
I actually wrote this last night during the team call. I have this whiteboard that I'm actually going to put magnets on it, and I'm going to magnetize it to our gun safe. Y'all see me sitting in front of the guns every time you see me on camera. I'm going to put magnets on it. So anyway, my goals for July is senior gold. I need 250 points by the end of the month, so July 31st. One of the things I'm going to achieve this goal is Facebook scrolling. I'm notorious for that. I get squirrel brain once I get on there, and then I lose track of what I'm doing, and I waste so much time. So I'm going to achieve this by, I have 2 business builders right now, and I'm going to try to help both of them add 6. And then I would like to add 6 myself, and I would like to develop 3 more silvers. So
Awesome.
that's my plan.
Awesome. I think you sent me that. I haven't opened that message up yet. So
Send you a picture of my board.
Fabulous. All right. So does someone else want to unmute and share theirs really quick?
I'll share.
Okay.
Picture of myself. I actually had my daughter draw me out a ruby on a piece of construction paper last night. And I took a picture of myself with it and sent it to my team last night. But I actually had written down my goal before the call was 550 points, because I didn't want to just hit ruby. I wanted to go beyond that. And then the thing that I did last night was I reached out to my team. I have just a team thread with them and asked them what their goal was. And I know Jen's on the call too. So I asked them what their point goal was and how many people that they wanted to add, because I needed to update my Post-it notes in my bathroom. So, but my goal this month is to help develop silver. So I was just driving into work, illegally writing down my new ambassadors and the dates that they joined so that I could reach out to them to do the fast start silver, so that we could get it within the first 30 days so they could get the extra bonuses, because I think that will be appealing. And then a couple of them have already made their first post. So I sent, for the ones that had already made their first post on their own, I said, hey, can we host an online event or a Zoom or a sip and see? And then for the other ones that had not done that, I said, hey, you're already seeing great results with your products. Would you be willing to make a first post if I send you what to say? And so I'm just waiting on a response back. But I think just being more intentional with what they've told me, so that I can say, hey, you've already seen, this. And that way, whenever I give them the post information or whatever to say, it's specific to them and what they've already seen, not just generically, hey, my friend Jamie helped me get started. And that way they can relate to it more because they already have seen those results.
Exactly. Love that. Yes, I think it all stems back from us raising our leadership lid and being intentional with helping people. I mean, you will have some that just go learn to read on their own, right? Just like our kids. Others, it takes them a lot longer, and it takes a lot more us like sitting with, hand holding, and just we'll get. And this is the thing, to build a really solid team, you have to help more people do a little bit. And this is something I did not get until I was stalled out at Emerald for like 14 months. Is like there was like 10 of us that could recruit like crazy, but we weren't really helping anyone else duplicate. I think also if someone looks at us and says, oh my word, I can't be her, right? And so it's us in the trenches with them like, hey, I know that you've seen some great results with your sugar cravings and this and this. If I made a little post, if I wrote it up for you, would you post it? And so you can even use, if they're not brand new and they've actually had some experience on the products, find out what they're seeing positively, and then craft a little Facebook post for them and send it to them and say, hey, how does this sound? These are the things that you've seen. I bet you could help someone. So that's something that I do definitely. Or if they're not on the products very long, I just have them use my story. Hey, this is, I'm so excited to start these natural supplements. My friend Megan told me about, it's helped her with XYZ. I'm curious who wants to try this with me. And I just present it to, you know what, grab an accountability partner, or you might get a couple of accountability partners from doing this. So we're essentially accidentally helping people go silver. If they're not joining specifically for the business, we're not talking to them about the comp plan and going silver. That wigs them out, right? Okay. Another thing that I want to say really quickly is get into your virtual office and figure out and map out things for people. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. My internet's wonky. But if they have 5 to 10 points, they could go silver, right? Or they could re-rank silver. 20 to 45 points, they could go gold, super silver. 70 to 95 points, they could go gold. 150 to 245, they could go senior gold, or any of these could be re-ranks, right? But you need to search your virtual office and figure out who those people are in your entire organization. It could be a level 6 to you, but you should be reaching out to them and vision casting that for them, because their sponsor may never have talked to them about that. They may not know like how close they are. And also with the specials and things like that are going on, there's no reason for them not to, right? So create a master list and help more people succeed. Okay, let's see. The 0 PV people who have quit in the last 90 days. I'm gonna actually drop some verbiage below. Let me grab it. So we need to be figuring out, who these people are and why they're not ordering. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Hey, Heather, I just wanted to reach out and introduce myself to you. So this would be like for a non-level 1, but you can get a master list of your 0 PV people or whatever. They've turned off their subscription, but they've joined in the last 90 days. Okay, so it's really important to go swing back to these people. And this may be just something that you do like for an hour of IPA where that's your job for that particular hour, okay? So, hey, I just wanted to reach out and introduce myself. My name is Megan. I'm a mom of 6 and I'm a friend of so-and-so, one of your support team members in Plexus. I noticed back in March that you ordered the Renew You pack. I'm doing a bit of research and wanting some feedback to find out what your experience was with that particular starter pack. Curious what you loved and what you maybe struggled with. Do you have a few minutes for me to ask you some questions? Okay, so I'm gonna actually type or put that in the comments so you can save that. We probably aren't gonna like actually spend time right now doing that, but I'm just saying, make that one of your jobs here in the first 10 days of the month, where you're gonna specifically and strategically target that demographic of people within your team, because that's a huge potential for conversation and point growth and consistency. And then, so maybe they said, it doesn't work for me. I just didn't notice any difference. So if they say something like that to you, then you want to say, tell me what you're taking, what your goals were. I've sometimes found that people just aren't on the right set of products. So I guess I'll go ahead and copy and paste that.
Hey, Megan, can I just add something to that?
Uh-huh.
So I know you guys have mentioned a couple times about restarting people that have been inactive for 6 months. And I was able to reach out and restart a couple people last month by doing what you just said, but also saying, hey, since you haven't ordered in a while, there may be the opportunity to restart you and get the discounts as well. And so I was able to get 4 people cleared out and get 3 of them restarted.
Yes. Yeah. So you can even swing back to really old people and they can join as new ambassadors, which is super awesome. Okay. I'm also going to give you a welcome text example. And so I know we had a really ginormous recruitment month, but if you can either, if your team may be smaller, right? So this is not like a really overwhelming task for you, or you just decide, you know what, I'm going to do my 1 through 3s or my 1 through 5s, and this is what I'm going to send them. So here's a little welcome text. It says, hi, my name is Megan. I'm a friend of so-and-so. I have helped her on her Plexus journey. Welcome to Plexus. I love to reach out to new ambassadors to provide support, tips, and share my story. Before Plexus, I was blah, 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 right? Everyone has a different story, and that's the cool thing about Plexus. It works on whatever you're struggling with. I'd love to know a little bit more about you, answer any questions, and offer some tips for success. Is that okay? And what I do, because I'm not usually connected with these people on Facebook, I send them texts. So you can actually go to your new ambassador list in your back office and go back to June and sort it by levels. So like if you're just specifically saying, okay, I'm just going to do 1 through 3s, or whatever. If your team is small enough that you can actually blitz through the whole list or systematically work through it, right? You can send those out via text. And the cool thing about that is you're tap rooting, you're offering support, and you may already be in a lot of throughway messages with your new people anyways, so maybe you don't have to do it because you've already done it. But I just want to put that out there. If you're not currently tap rooting and you're only primarily focused on level 1s, it would be very advantageous to you to do this with your people's people. Okay. So, alrighty. Oh, and then I will also say from the people that you're chatting with about the potential, like if you're chatting with them about, oh my word, like you only need 1 more ambassador and you're going to be silver. Did you realize that? Oh my word. You can reach out to people in your downline and let them know about that. And if they're game for doing something and they respond back to you and they're interested, I put them on my wall. That way, when I sit down to work, I can see at a glance, like who I have not just chatted with, but like who has responded back. Because it's like when you reach out, you're not going to hear back from 100% of people. There's going to be a percentage of them that are actually game. And from those, they actually do something, right? So I just want to encourage you with that. Also, if you're not mapping out your people that are working the business with you, map it out for them. I think probably all of you have seen examples of my maps because I've done it for you. If you have not seen that and you want to see an example of that, let me know because I can send them over. But I specifically go in their back office, go look under their team, sort it by points and rank so that I can see, oh my word, Charity could totally go Ruby this month. She's only, and then we figure out how many people or orders she's away from ranking up to Ruby. And list out their possible silvers, their super silvers, people that could go gold. So mapping, it takes time to do that for people, but it does work. And there was so many people that hit gold. I'm not saying because I mapped it out for them, but I'm just saying you will help more people be successful if you help them make a plan and do it. And sometimes actually, if you just do it first, then they're like, oh my word, I'm going to do this for myself. I'm going to do it for my people. So I just encourage you to do that. If you have specific questions about that, feel free to put it in the chat thread. Okay, 2 other things I'm going to mention, and I'm going to turn it over to Amy, is Leaders Retreat. started yesterday. So Leaders Retreat contest, we talked about this on the team call. Make sure you go print out from the back office all of the deets on that, so you have it up close, personal, and that you as a leader know what's required. And then remember that it's a 4-month contest period, so it is a long contest, and start early. That's what we're telling people. And then it's combined with Super Saturday in Scottsdale in January. So that'll be super fun. And then our July plan for the month is, because we had like 1,000 people join one team, because y'all are awesome, we have a big responsibility to take care of these people, help. And this is the thing, we want to retain people. And there's 3 ways you retain people. You help them have great success on their products, you help them make a paycheck, and you help them plug into culture. And so we're going to talk really quickly, like, what should we do with new ambassadors? But before we talk about that, the way we're going to do this as a team is every week there are 3 Zooms, okay? The Tuesday night Zoom is a 30-minute little Zoom, basically sharing like all about Plexus with them, okay? And the first one is actually going to be a 30-minute event where there's posted first, and then we pop on a Zoom at 7:30, and we do like a little 20-minute chat session. And it'll basically take the place of like the new ambassador orientation. But you will then have that event as a resource, as a static page for the entire month that you can add and tag people in, and they can add and tag people in. So we're going to do that on the very top of the month this coming Tuesday. Every Wednesday call is going to be how to start your products. And then every Thursday is going to be about the business. Okay. And there's going to be different leaders that host each week. Okay, so that's kind of the general scoop on that. And then we're just encouraging people to host those launch events, host the Zooms, host the launch event parties for people, so that they can go fast start silver, fast start gold, all that kind of stuff. So Amy's going to talk to us about how to follow up in the first 30 days and her system for doing that, and also how to help new ambassadors start strong. What should you be doing with new ambassadors? What the system is or should be when you get someone new started. It's not just like Molly said last night, oh yeah, you signed someone and then you're on to the next person and you like leave them in the dust. There are some things you want to be doing. So Amy, are you game for sharing with us some of those things that you do with your people?
Yikes. Yeah, I can share. I don't think that I necessarily have a perfect system. In fact, on that, do we have that in our momentum movement, like Emily Gibson's how to follow up in the first 30 days, like the 4 touch points? We should maybe put that somewhere, because I surely don't do that perfectly. But what Megan was talking about earlier, how this is like an individually driven business. Our team, we're talking right now, we've had like we're in major growing pains in a good way, because like our team in the past 2 months, we've signed over 300 people. And so we have this conversation thread going. When we add new people, we always have people, we add them to a conversation thread and we add them to our team page. And the point of the conversation thread is like our team page is set up so that people can't just talk and ask questions, whatever. It's kind of like admin only, because I feel like it gets muddy if someone just pops on and like, is it normal that I'm pooping 1,000 times today? That's kind of what the Team Hope conversation thread is for. And we make it really clear, like, this is for all of our ambassadors. Ask all of your questions here. And so I'm always available. But if like on my family day, I'm off grid somewhere getting lost on the Appalachian Trail, and I'm not available, you can ask the question there and our whole team sees it and someone will be able to answer it. Well, now our conversation thread is full. It's completely full. We've maxed out. And so now we're talking about, kind of raising our leadership lid too, right? And so all of our gold and above leaders, we're saying somehow we have to make a way. It's just like church. When our church gets bigger, we have to make it smaller, right? So people don't fall through the cracks. And so what we're saying is golds and above. Hopefully you're adding everybody to the team page, because I can't do that. But if you get them to the team page, then I can help you take care of your people. But how are you communicating to your people, to your gold team that you own, that's yours, your small group, right? And so, okay, that's Megan. So I'm just telling you, like, our team, as far as like looking at our like big team growth, we're saying, make sure you get your people plugged into a conversation thread. I can't see myself. This is weird. Make sure you get your people plugged into a conversation thread and also to the team page. So, because your people who joined you, they know you, they don't know me, they know you. And hopefully I want to taproot and get to know them, but they're your people. You know what I mean? So raising that leadership lid of all of our leaders as well. But Megan is right in the sense that we can't just dump our people in a chat thread and dump them on the team page. Say, good luck with your life, right? Like it really is an individual walking alongside, taking care of our people. Do you know what I mean? And so it is a little overwhelming in the beginning too, as far as like just walking alongside of them. So what I do, I don't know if it's right or wrong, but whenever I sign someone, I say, tell me, we have the conversation. I love Megan's, what she does when first people join, saying, tell me your thoughts on sharing. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't. I'm trying to get better at that, just to put that idea in their mind as soon as they join. My people, I'd say half and half are like, sure. And half are like, I want to see results first. And I'll say, I use the analogy that Emily Gibson used as far as like, well, I don't know about you, but like if I was to join a gym and get a personal trainer, I wouldn't tell my bestie, like, I'm going to try this for 30 days. And once I get ripped, I want you to come play with me. I'm going to say, come do this with me. This is scary. Let's go do this together, And so who's your ride and die bestie that we could maybe say, come play with me? You know what I mean? So having that conversation, but then I say, when your products come, as soon as they come, tell me, and I'm going to send you startup instructions. I don't give them startup instructions right when we talk on the phone or when we sign up, because there's so much conversation. Do you know what I mean? I add them to the chat thread. I add them to the team page. I welcome them. I ask them my thoughts about posting. I say, what if you make a little post, and then I say, when your products come, tell me, and I'm going to send you startup instructions. Emily Gibson would say, and since taking that momentum maker, she's saying, even in that time between when they sign and when their products come, there's opportunity for tons of conversation there, right? Tons of relationship building, tons of just saying, I'm so excited. Do you know what I mean? So that's where I'm trying to get better at. But I do say, tell me when your products come. And then that's a touch point for me too. And so today someone's like, oh, my products came. I'm so excited. And so then I give them, which is in our album section, startup instructions for all of our, right? For all of our combos. I send them that graphic. And then I just say, here is a graphic for, perfect suggestions for when to take your products. I'm going to tell you that our family, we are morning and night people. Kevin likes his slim first thing in the morning. I like mine mid-afternoon, but everything else we do these ones in the morning, these ones at night, because my life is wild and I will not remember to take things. So bottom line, you do what works for you, but this is a chart. This is an ideal time chart, but you do what works for you. And we talk about that. Do you know what I mean? And then I make sure that they're on the team page. And also that new ambassador start here. Yes, only add them to one. I agree. One team page. Yep. And then we have a business thread if they want to start sharing about the business, but I don't add them to that thread unless they say they kind of want to start sharing. And then I say, we do have we take it away from this original thread where it's just for all the happy wholesalers, and then I lost my train of thought. Help me. Yeah, help protect them from overwhelm. And we got to protect ourselves from overwhelm too, right? So there's I know, help them navigate their team page, their back office, because like our team was talking about, like, we just need systems. And so Lisa and I were like, we got to create a system. And then we were messing around our virtual office ourselves. And we were like, oh my word, there's a tab that literally says new ambassadors start here. Have you guys played with that? I mean, it's beautiful. I don't even know when it happened, but we discovered it like a month ago. And so we're like, there is a new ambassador tab, but literally, I mean, it's perfect. Day one is like how to start your product successfully, how to like kind of overall health. I mean, it is perfect. Day one, day two, day three. So I show them that. And then I say, and if you are interested in getting your products paid for, there's a whole rank up roadmap there. Like, don't recreate the wheel, right? But show them how to navigate, because a lot of people are scared of their back office. They're like, I might break something. Like, you can't break anything, and then getting them plugged into things immediately. That's why I love our July calendar. I mean, essentially the day your person signs up, we can plug them into something. We can plug them into a Zoom, invite them to something. Remember, Jessica Heffley, the 3 things that keep people, Megan said it earlier, we have to give them results. So we have to walk with them. This is not a car sales business where it's like, enjoy your car, have a nice life. It's like, we just added a person to our small group. So give them results, give them a place to belong. They've got to be plugged in, and they feel more of a part of something when they're a part of something. So not just the team page, but also Zooms, also local things, whatever. Give them a place to belong, and then get a paycheck into their hands. And so making it not be weird. Remember one of those things that Genevieve Scory said, like DBW, don't be weird. Just like suggest it. Like, hey, I just want you to know, like there's a crazy opportunity for you to get your products paid for if you're interested. And I would love to help you do that. And that's where the events come in and things like that. So I do think sometimes we complicate it. It's not complicated, but it is work, right? And a lot of times I think like Lisa and I are thinking like, you know, we have big goals and big dreams, but we also have 300 new people we've got to take care of. And so we can't just plow ahead without taking care of who we already have too. So there's that dance, right? There's that dance of like figuring out our time of how we love our new people, how we build into our leaders, and then how we go get some new ones. But Justin was saying to me the other day, if you take care of your people and get them plugged in, the duplication will happen. But if we just like remember the difference between recruiting, right? Recruiting and network marketing. Some people are awesome recruiters, but you're not a true network marketer until you duplicate, until you keep them and you help them see the vision and you help them duplicate themselves. And that's where it is work, but that's the difference between what we do and just sales. I don't know if that's helpful or not, but.
Do you want me to bring up that graphic?
Yeah. Yes, because that's definitely a more structured, like this is what you do week 1, this is what you do week 2. I do think that that's super helpful.
Can you see that? Or do you want me to read it?
We can see it, but you can read it too.
Okay. So she's saying when you add a new ambassador, write their name down in your planner on the day that you recruit them. And then you're going to write everything down in your planner week 1, 4 days after recruitment. You're going to write their name again to check in. And this is a suggestion of what you can say. Hey, Ashley, have you gotten your products yet? I'm so excited for you. If they have received their products and start to say, you can start to say, hey, how did you like the taste of the pink drink? Tell me your thought. So you're basically like just being relational with them, right? So you then, like Amy said, you send dosage recommendations, and you can send, if you want to, a video toolbox explaining the products that they're taking. Week 2 is, so you're like jotting their names down in your planner so you make sure you are following up consistently with them. Week 2, are you getting into a good rhythm? Do you feel like you're taking your products consistently? Are you drinking your water? Are you pooping 2 to 3 times a day? If they're having issues, pencil in an additional follow-up 2 to 3 days later after troubleshooting with them. And this is the thing, I think we sometimes expect our people to follow up with us, but we need to be following up with them. Like when I started, I did not tell Carrie what I was experiencing. Like I did not offer that information. So that's why we have to be asking specific questions also. Week 3 is, hey, Ashley, I wanted to ask if you've seen an increase in your sugar cravings. My 3rd week, I noticed that they came back. If the answer is yes, troubleshoot them by increasing ProBio 5. So if they say no, you say, if you notice anything like fatigue, sugar cravings, bloating, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. That's actually a sign that your body is healing itself, and I want to make sure that we adjust your products so you're comfortable if any of those things happen. So you're basically capitalizing before they're like, oh, I'm having allergic reactions, I can't take this. So you're like getting to that before it's an issue.
Yes.
Right? And then week 4 is, I'm so excited that you're feeling awesome, or continue to coach them through the, healing, reminding them of the importance of the 90-day commitment, help them set alarms to take their products and find easier ways to get their water in. So I think it is that just relational walk along, talk along. It's like mentorship. And
yes.
I don't remember who said it, but someone said it recently. I think it was, what's her name? She's Becky Page. She was training on one of the new products or something. She said, tell people like, hey, be completely honest with me. And you can say this on voice messenger, like, hey, be completely honest with me. I want to know like what you're experiencing. And I think this is the other thing is like, if you have even had a tiny bit of experience, like use that, because you are a professional. You have to like own it. And the more confident you are, the less likely they're going to be like, oh, it doesn't work for me. Thanks for helping me. So you're like, hey, I've helped a lot of people find success on these products, but we sometimes have to tweak it for people. So do not feel like you can't reach out to me and say, hey, Megan, this is what I'm experiencing. What do I do? So like encourage them to be completely honest and let you know what's going on. Okay, if anyone needs that graphic, I can repost it. I'm pretty sure it's, if you type in follow up on the team page, there'll be like multiple
Mhm.
graphics and videos and all the things that pop up. But it's like getting better at the things. Don't you think, Amy?
Mhm.
Sometimes it's
Yeah.
just like, oh,
Yeah.
well, oops, I didn't follow up with so-and-so, like once
And
maybe.
finding a system that works for you.
Yeah.
That system that works for you. And so sometimes, you know, I know that my system doesn't work for everybody, but as long as it works for me and I can stay consistent at it, I think, and pivot when we need to pivot, I think that that's important.
Yes. So my encouragement is between now and, well, however long you need to take, I should say, like the first couple days of the month, like I know that we're encouraging like a rest day tomorrow, but take some time to like reflect, set your goals, write your people down, map it out if like a post-it note system works for you, or if you're just a pen and paper person, or whatever clicks with your brain, get it on paper so you can be set yourself up for success for the month. And like this is going to be, we thought June was huge, July is going to be ginormous. So I'm just saying there's a lot of people with a lot of goals and there's a lot of momentum right now. And the fact that we have that Fast Start program that is simplistic and everyone can understand it, and all the wonderful things that we have going. They have the, what is it, the $9.95 join fee still. So that's awesome. So, I mean, you can always still offer the 10% discount yourself and just use that as like a write-off, you know, investment in your business. So just encouraging everyone to be helping their people faster and keeping those conversations rolling. So, okay, Amy, do you have anything else you want to say?
No, I think, I mean, I always say this, but Kevin and I just did this last night, so it's fresh on my mind. And I'm talking to a lot of people on my team who are feeling a little overwhelmed. Sometimes growing pains are wonderful, but it can be overwhelming, right? And so Brooke Hemingway has said in the past, like, she's like, I don't necessarily believe in balance. I believe in alignment. And what I do is I schedule in family time. I don't schedule in business hours. And for a long time, I was like, I don't get that. Like, I schedule business hours and those are my business hours. But I see as I've grown, it makes sense to me more in the sense, and again, you have to do what works for you and your family. But I always say, like, you have to be constantly having a meeting with your shareholders. You have to constantly be having a meeting with your family, with your spouse, with whoever this affects, so that it stays a blessing and so that there's no collateral damage. But also, if you do have these big goals, so that it's like Kevin and I are always our little catchphrase, because we fear each other, but we're like, for the sake of communication, remember, I have this tonight, like over communicating. Like, if this is a month with a really big goal, then you communicate that to each other and communicate. Like, for him, his love language is quality time. It's not so much mine, or quality time for me can be us working together side by side. Quality time for him is like, our roles are reversed, but it's like my phone is off and we're on a date and we're talking. And so even if I reply to a text, that's not quality time for him. So it's communication, right? And so we set, you know, moving forward, like, these are our family hours, where for this amount of time, and again, we're always pivoting, right? But for us, that seems to work better, because I feel stressed if I say my business hours are 7 to 9, and then maybe a touch point here and there. I'm like, if we're going to become a Sapphire team, it has to be more, you know what I mean? And so, and I'm just, but I don't want to be on my phone all day long either, right? I don't want my kids to see me on my phone all day long. So that pivoting with your family. And so I think that that's always so important to do, so that it remains a blessing. And everybody's family is going to look different, and everybody's schedule looks different. And so that's why I just feel like that is important for joy and longevity. And so that your family's proud of you, and they're not like, they don't view this as like, Plexus took mommy away from me. It's like, whoa, look what Plexus did for our family. Do you know what I mean? That just that pivoting and that open communication, and it's going to look different for everybody.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I think there's like seasons where there's high momentum times where you have to capitalize right now. And so it may not fit in a neat little box from 2 to 4 on Tuesdays, you know. And as you grow, you have growing pains where you realize, whoa, this is going to be requiring more of me, of my time, if I'm going to do it well and do it with excellence.
Right.
So, yes. Okay. Speaking of which, I'm going to go make birthday breakfast, because we have a birthday boy in our house. So I'm going to let you all go. Have a great day, guys. Thank you, Amy.